even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. On second down, here's Roethlisberger. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And able to find Green. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
And caught, right side, Green. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
On the right side, caught by Green. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Well, that's the way you want to get an opening drive going, right? Because so often it's a tone setter, and I think even better when you're able to pick it up and convert with a running play, because the last thing you want to do is play what I call rocket football. 1, 2, 3, kick.
Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, it has to be pinpoint here.
As I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone. While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, and for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Now Roethlisberger. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Jarvis Landry, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Terrence West. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. And here now, the Baltimore offense.
This organization's identity for years has been its defense. But if you take a closer look at the offense in 2016, better than you might think. 17th overall, 12th in passing. They're looking to take the next step now to becoming a top 10 offense in the NFL.
3rd down. Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. And that's complete. It's Watson. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
This is West. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Chris Wormley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. The 30, the 20. Touchdown, Chicago. Jarvis Landry, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
To return, here's Michael Campanero. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he's got the veteran here. It's Mike Wallace. That one goes for 24 yards. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. To pass, Flacco. Finds his man, Watson, over the middle. And he's brought down. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
They'll run it with West. Had a nice move, but can't break away. Down just inside the 30. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Complete to Gilmore, the tight end. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose. And this is picked up by the Bears. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but it's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
And instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Reminder that coming up later tonight in the national window, we'll see the Giants travel out to Denver to take on the Broncos. And then tomorrow night, it's the Colts and Titans, an AFC South battle from Nashville.
Both of them have designs on winning that division.
Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
On 3rd and 1, it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
On 3rd and 1, I think everyone in the stadium thought they'd try and run the football there, but they tried to surprise the defense and hit something through the air. Instead, it results in an incompletion.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Fielded at the 20. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The drive begins with a handoff to West. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Flacco looks to throw. No, he doesn't have it. Maybe some alligator arms there going over the middle. 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
3rd down, Flacco from the gun. That is caught. It's Perriman. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Flacco to Perriman, and the Ravens have a first.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Defense.
So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so, and one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. 3rd and goal, Flacco. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So this offensive unit, they've now had 3 drives, and they only have 3 points to show for it.
Payoff is the key for everything. How many offenses have we talked to that say we have to finish drives? Thus far, this team hasn't finished it quite the way they wanted to.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
Nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
Now Roethlisberger, and he rifles it complete, caught by Landry. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. Green with a catch left side. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. And it's third down.
The way he's been slinging in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that third, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. On third down, Roethlisberger. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. So that's when you almost never see at this level a wobbler from very short range, and it winds up no good.
All right, Brandon, if he slipped or someone got a hand on it, then I can understand it, but it's almost like he heard a whistle or something that stopped his swing. A very strange result, especially for an NFL kicker.
They begin here with a run by West. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. 1:59 to go in the first half. We're back to Baltimore after this. Second down, Flacco now. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So on fourth down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Now Randall. And now running right through it. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over first and 10. Jarvis Landry and company heading back onto the field now, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with, but it's second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Screen play, Johnson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do.
After reviewing the play, the route on the field is reversed.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
West again. Able to break the tackle and get some breathing room before being brought down just outside the 5. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Ravens on third down. They've hit at 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Play action. Flacco. Down goes Joe Flacco in the end zone. It's a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about. Now, that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far. And it's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. Well, you don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They go play action here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the lead is down to 10 now at 16-6. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you work on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
So we reach halftime with a visiting. And no update from Larry this week, apparently. We'll try again in week 7. But for now, let's get back to the action, ready to kick off the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. He's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is
you're going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Wallace. And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. The Ravens on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Here's Flacco. Looking for Macklin, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Collins. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Barthon for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. First and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Quick slant, that's caught by the veteran Macklin. And he lost the football. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have.
They make so many catches that are so tough, so acrobatic, so difficult, that often surprises me when they actually turn the ball over. You know, when the ball actually comes free. It's amazing sometimes because of what we see them do on so many different plays.
Had the catch, but couldn't control it on the contact. Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Terrell Suggs in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. That's complete to Meredith. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A gain of 32 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And he slings one that's incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot, but they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Encroachment, defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
Play action. Now Roethlisberger. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Roethlisberger. And the pressure gets to him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And Barth puts it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So he missed a field goal earlier, but he says not this time, and he's able to knock it through to give his guys 3.
And that's all you want as a kicker, a chance to redeem yourself. You got to have a short memory if you're going to survive at this level, and he's able to get back on track.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Bears defense gearing up as they take the field. And they forced the fumble last time. Now 4 turnovers for this defense. They've been darn good.
It's become a feeding frenzy, hasn't it? I mean, almost like the sharks. And they descend upon their prey. That's what they've done this entire game. 4 takeaways, they preach it, and today they're living it.
Well, when you have that many, you probably think, all right, well, we'll just get another one now, right?
That's how it works. Everyone feels like, if I didn't get one, I'm doing something wrong.
A good pick up there of 20 yards. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. Flacco. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Here's West. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
Passing play, Flacco. Oh, look over the middle, and he's got Perriman. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Rashad Perriman, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens cut into that lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the 3rd.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them. Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one goes for 13. Yards, and it moves the sticks. From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. Throw left side, taken in by Meredith. And he is taken down deep in Baltimore territory. A huge play there for Chicago. 45 yards.
Similar to a slant, it's all about timing when you're throwing a crossing route. Quarterback and receiver have to be in sync, and when they put it on them just right and catch it full speed, running through a defense, can often result in a big pickup of yardage. Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. Offense on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Jarvis Landry, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Bears will add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done. And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter. Not only pulling away, you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And now here come the Ravens. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do. No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do. Throw right side, taken in by Wallace. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again. Someone moved. Flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards. And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Flacco here on second down. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jamie Collins coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
3rd and long for Joe Flacco. And he's going to go down again. Akeem Hicks in there again as this offensive line is in tatters. 3 sacks in 3 plays.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
It's the Ravens with possession. Here's Sam Cook now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Randall now ready to return. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Bears take over. A chance for us here to discuss Jarvis Landry. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They run. It's Johnson. 8 yards on the pickup, and the Bears are going to get a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Again, it's Johnson. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. On the toss, here's Johnson. And some space here. And now running right through it. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. That burst good for 20 and a first down. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
And from the 9-yard line now, it's 1st and goal. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Kamara trying again. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Jarvis Landry, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears will extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
The veteran Jeremy Maclin was the intended target. And it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Mike Wallace, the intended receiver, and now it's 3rd down. Now, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right, that pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Here's Flacco. That's caught out left by Perriman. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
This is brought in at the 21. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the 4th down in New Orleans. And it's the Lions who have scored to extend their lead. A win would be just their 2nd of the year if they could hold on. They begin the drive with Johnson. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. My music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock. Well, he was stopped on that play, but he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Roethlisberger now to throw on third down. He's got his man here. It's Green. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you'll only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 more on that one, and another first down. Checking the NFL scoreboard there in the 4th now in Minneapolis.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Now you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdown passes thus far.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Throwing here on first down, Flacco. Open man left side is Wallace, complete. A good pickup there, a 22. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Landon Collins. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Chicago, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for Baltimore.
Like the way it sounds, Frody? Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fire like dragon. Man, I'm flying past Saturn. Out of here like I ain't that savage. It's like I'm at the studio with Michael. You can hear me dancing on the beat. Bam, bam, about to put a mansion on the beach. 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that in my mommy. I will never give my heart to a I can just make a dance that goes with this song. Then I'ma be on. Basic, gon' dance to it. Basic, everywhere, gon' dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man.